Good evening. Welcome to 758 Sport Talk. And as usual, we have a lot to get into tonight. Tonight, there's so much going on. I feel like I say this every weekend, every Monday after the weekend. So much going on. So many results to get to. It's just impossible to do it during our sports package. I met somebody once who told me, you seem to have some of the stories late or the day after. And I had to let the person know, definitely, St. Lucia, we don't. We don't ever have sports stories late. It's just impossible to put all of this into our sports news package. I would have to tell you that it would clearly take me about 45 minutes to get through all of what we've covered on the weekend here at DBS Sports. Let me tell you, it's no joke. We have all the scores from Jean Pierre netball tournament. We covered that in its entirety from the beginning, the official launch, the opening ceremony. We had the interviews to get to. I mean, we had the scores from the various games. We had comments from the coaches, the players from the various teams. And let me tell you, it's just time will just not permit. And so you will see some of the stuff that we did not cover or we did not bring you in tonight's sports package, already a thorough sports package. We'll bring it to you tomorrow night. But let me just get through some of the other events from the weekend. St. Lucia National Cricket Association, they are going to be hosting with St. John's Ambulance a one-day program. Very, very important. Emergency first aid. They're going to be having that program, and among some of the topics to be covered, the role of first aiders, personal safety, legal issues, primary surveys, emergency scene management, and I mean the host goes on and on. Very, very important. The Debara and Kako. The Honorable Ezekiel Joseph T20 competition in Babono. Of course, we have a number of persons always asking for results from the Babono area for obvious reasons. Kimani Melius is from that area. And so we saw Debara and Kako registering victories on the weekend. Again, very, very extensive report from the individuals from that community, pretty much showing a lot going on in terms of cricket in St. Lucia. Obviously, the competition that we covered, the Division 1, is currently ongoing, and we're also going to be seeing very soon the women's Windward Islands cricket tournament, also slated to commence very soon. We also have information on the Denry Rockets Riders Cycling Club. They hosted some events on a Sunday in the Denry village. We saw the events consisted of a 6-kilometer juvenile race, a 30-kilometer race, and a 400-meter power sprint against St. Lucia. So many results to bring to you. The 6-kilometer juveniles, Matthew Louis, he came out first in a time of 13 minutes, 25.38 seconds. Kayla Joseph finished second, 14 minutes, 35.48 seconds. That's in the 6 km. In the 15 lap, Andrew Norbert, a name that we constantly hear when it comes to riding in St. Lucia from the community of Denry. He came out in 50 minutes, 26.53 seconds. He came out first. We saw Antonius Shah-Jabatis from Denry Rocket Riders finishing in a time of 51 minutes, 53.21 seconds. When I'm seeing Andrew Norbert from Monreport, and I stand corrected, Hillen Shell from Excellers finishing in 53 minutes. Crystal Cup pool tournament continued, and we're seeing some results from that competition as well. We also had some information on the updated fixture for the Dominic Fede Cup, the competition which extends from, let's just say, Marigot all the way over to the Canaries community, and into the quarterfinal stage. And we see in Millet, they will take on Foundation in one of the quarterfinals. Tivali, they will take on the 1987 All-Stars, and that's from Ancillary. No Fear from Canaries, they will take on Alez, and RV Juniors, obviously from Roseau Valley. They will come up against Young Stars. So that's some information coming out from the Dominic Fede Cup. We also had some information on the West Indies tour, which just completed in Karachi, and some information on that will be coming up shortly. But we have a lot to discuss tonight. I have somebody in studio, and normally we need to ensure that we give we allot as much time as possible to get into so many things that are ongoing in St. Lucia, in the region, and of course in the world. But on the weekend, we spent some time also in Miku for the commencement of the DJ Dunga, the Stag quarter football competition. We saw the commencement of that. A very nice vibe, obviously, in the Miku community. We saw individuals from Diriso. I saw some people from Castries on the Miku multipurpose court from all over St. Lucia. And obviously, we took some pictures for you. So we'll get into that right now. All right, some of the action from the Miku multipurpose court, and let me tell you, this weekend there will be more action in Miku because there is the commencement of the Dr. Gail Rigoport competition, the football competition. It starts on Saturday. I think we have 2 games from 2 and 4 o'clock, and right after that, court football, right on the multipurpose court. Lots of fun and excitement in the Miku community. Hats off to Jermaine and of course DJ Dunga for that initiative. Obviously, all the individuals talk about wanting to be off the streets and having something meaningful to do from the interviews. Really, really appreciate that sort of football competition to just keep the vibe going in the Miku community. All right, so definitely some sad news in terms of netball for those of you who are following the netball competition closely. The Caribbean Netball Championships being held right here in St. Lucia at the VG Multipurpose Sports Complex. I was being updated by somebody very close to me, and I could reliably report that St. Lucia went down to Jamaica 36-21. St. Lucia suffering their first defeat in this year's competition. Of course, for those of you who've been following closely, those of you who've not been following closely, St. Lucia absolutely dominated that first affair against Dominica, winning, I think it was 37-11, and then they tied against Barbados. Sadly, they led throughout the game, but Barbados came back strong to tie that game 27-27. And St. Lucia, they played Trinidad and Tobago this morning. They played Trinidad and Tobago, and they absolutely outplayed Trinidad and Tobago, playing 3 games and pretty much being undefeated in 3 games. They defeated Trinidad and Tobago 32-19. And I must say, playing Trinidad and Tobago after playing Barbados last night and then playing Jamaica tonight, you wonder how much fatigue would have played in that. They lost to Jamaica 36-21. So St. Lucia suffering their first defeat in the Caribbean Netball Championships, the Under-16 Jean-Pierre competition. I must say they've been faring very well in the competition. I've been impressed with their abilities, their natural talent, and we've always said St. Lucia seem to be the smaller of the teams competing in the competition. Most times they seem to be outsized, especially in that semicircle. And so when I first saw the Jamaica team, I was like, most persons looked above 5'11". I was like, wow. And most of our players seem to be below that, with the exception of course, Megan Nestor from Canaries. So definitely some sad news there, but obviously the girls will have to keep their head up. From all indications, it would have been, the competition seemed to have been between either Jamaica and St. Lucia. Barbados obviously is in that mix. St. Lucia still need to play against St. Vincent and their final game against Grenada this week. So we'll be keeping you posted. Obviously, keep it locked to DBS Sports and obviously St. Lucia Sports Online for all your updates on the Caribbean Netball Championships. All right, so what we'll do, we'll take a break. And when we come back, obviously we get into the matters at hand when we talk about so many things. We had to talk about CPL, we had to talk about Pakistan Premier League, Caribbean cricket in terms of West Indies, and most of all, we had to talk about the Darren Sammy Cricket Academy. So when we come back, we'll introduce the main man, Darren Sammy, to you guys again. We'll be right back. course, welcome back to 758 Sports Talk, and we are going to be discussing cricket. And when we talk about cricket in St. Lucia, one name that is synonymous with the development and continued sustained outreach to young persons in St. Lucia is, of course, Mr. Darren Sammy. And, of course, Mr. Darren Sammy recently instituted the Darren Sammy Cricket Academy along with Digicel, and he is back here to talk a little bit about it and, of course, everything cricket. Good night, Mr. Sammy.
Good night, Kenson.
Welcome back.
Yes,
Welcome
yes.
home.
Yes. Good night to all the viewers and the listeners. You know, St. Lucia is always a place that's always good to come back to. And this is where I call home. This is where I'll always be the best place in the world for me. So I'm glad to be back home. Definitely. I'm glad to be back on the show.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're welcome here anytime. All right, let's just get into it. Mr. Sammy, I mean, you partnered with Digicel and you brought to St. Lucia the Darren Sammy Cricket Academy. How did that go?
I think it was just a little bit too short. But, you know, like I posted something today on my social media. I said, normally the first step is the hardest step. So I must say massive thank you to Digicel and the Darren Sammy Foundation coming together to take that massive step in helping to develop and exposing our under-15 cricketers to the international experience, you know, from international coaches, you know, and exposing them to what it takes to be a true professional. You know, we always hear cricket is 95% mental, you know, and over the last few days, we touched on, you know, the importance of being physically fit. So we had various persons in that specific department to come and educate the youngsters on physical fitness, injury prevention and injury management. You know, we had a psychologist coming in talking about the mental toughness, which, you know, I think is the most important part. And, you know, we had Phil Simmons, John Eugene and Junior DeRose coming on the technical part. We also had Mr. Modest, a.k.a. Twatine,
in the building,
bringing the energy to the youngsters. To me, bar the time frame, it was an excellent camp.
All right, so talking about some of the individuals you just mentioned, I did an interview with, I had the pleasure, I must say, of doing an exclusive interview, conducting an exclusive interview with Mr. Phil Simmons, former West Indies cricket coach, also former West Indies all-rounder. I mean, I was absolutely pleased to have been given that opportunity. It was an absolute pleasure, and I felt it would be remiss of me not to bring it to you guys. And so we have that interview in its entirety. All right, so I'm here with Mr. Phil Simmons, and where do we begin? Where do we begin with the accolades? A former West Indian all-rounder, West Indies all-rounder, former coach of the West Indies team, of course, that successful West Indies team at the World T20 World Cup, and current coach of the Afghanistan team that has beaten West Indies on 3 consecutive occasions in T20 internationals as well. And now the coach at the Darren Sammy Cricket Academy. Mr. Simmons, good morning.
Morning. I'm good. All
right, so tell us a little bit about how you were selected to be the coach of this program. Very important program for St. Lucia.
I think that's something you have to ask the boss himself. He just called me and he said, look, we're opening this, and at these dates, are you available and can you come? And you know, if it's something like that, and for Darren too, it's a must. So there was no problem in coming once the dates were free. So I'm here.
Right, so tell us a little bit about your relationship with Darren Sammy, because I know it dates back to his early career. Tell us a little bit about how that relationship has matured to this present era.
Yeah, well, I haven't been here much in his reign as captain. Looking from outside, the odd phone call here and there, but knowing him from early days and how he played his cricket and he wanted to be successful and everything, it's great to see where he's gone, where he's taking his cricket, and it's a lot to do with his motivation and how he sees himself and where he wants to go. So I'm not surprised that he's trying to put on this academy now, because he's always wanted to give back to West Indies cricket and mainly St. Lucia cricket. So it's great, and anytime I can help him with anything like that, it's always an easy decision.
So tell us what you expect throughout those days at this academy.
I don't know what to expect. It's about seeing what the talent is like and trying to enhance what little I can enhance in the few days and let them be able to take it from there. It's not just about the players, it's about the coaches and how they see things and how I can add to how they see things and how they would improve things.
All right, so think back to your younger days, getting involved in cricket. Getting involved in cricket. These young individuals, what can they expect from you in terms of what you're going to be passing on to these individuals that are burgeoning cricketers? And we're looking to emulate what Darren Sammy has done from St. Lucia.
I think the first thing you have to try and get them to understand is that nothing happens in a day, and they have to work hard all through to get anywhere. First of all, to improve their skills, but also to make it at the top, because there's 500 people looking for 11 spots. So you have to continue working hard, and it's not just working hard when you come together as a team, it's working hard as an individual, both physically, mentally, skills-wise, everything has to come together. So I think that's the main thing I always try and push in my squads, that we have to continue to work hard, because every time you stop, somebody else is getting there. So that's the main thing with me. As long as you intend to work hard, you're going to get there.
Okay, so for the benefit of our population, I mean, those who would not be part of the academy, the older people that are still trying to get in terms of cricket, what would you have to say to them?
It's the same thing. The old thing, you never give up your dreams, because around the next corner could be your blessings from God. So you don't ever give up on that. You keep working and keep looking at where you want to be and make sure that it's still in sight. Once it's in sight, it's possible.
So if I may, whilst I have your indulgence, how has your tenure been with the Afghanistan team? How has that been working out for you?
It's been great. As you see, the first series we played against Zimbabwe, we won the 2 T20s and we won the one days 4-1. And then we started badly in the World Cup qualifiers, but picked up ourselves and come back to win it. And it's been good. There's a lot more to come, because I haven't seen all the players yet. We get together again in the middle of April, and then I can see all the younger players who searching for a place, and we can move forward. But it's great and it's exciting, because as we were 20, 30 years ago, they have a lot of exciting talent coming out from there. So it's great to get a chance to work with them.
Must have been a sweet victory, sweet vindication for you guys, having to play in that qualifier final against West Indies, having 3 consecutive victories against West Indies.
I see it as the team in front of us to beat, and it doesn't matter if it's West Indies or Ireland was the one before, and Ireland hurt too, but that's how it is. It's who I'm working for now, and I want to win every time I am in charge of someone, and the guys wanted to win too. So it's good. It's nice in a way. In the other way, it's kind of sad, that we can beat West Indies so easily. But our cricket as Afghanistan cricket is improving, and it's keep going up.
So finally, just overall, your impressions with West Indies team going into the World Cup, some of the players are senior now, like Chris Gayle, the composition of the team. What do you think about the chances, and what should they be doing in the coming months? I know they're not paying you for that advice, but what should they be doing?
I don't know. The composition of the team, selectors seem to always have a different idea to what the team should be, especially the selectors in the Caribbean, but that's their choice, and I can't really comment on what they can select and what to do. I know they're in now, and they have to work out what it is they have to do in order to compete next year. So I won't tell them what I think. Let them work that out for themselves.
Mr. Simmons, we have a situation where we had a World Cup winning team, and we had a captain, Darren Sammy, was the captain of the winning team. And we had you as coach. I mean, the level of success that you had as coach, we've not been able to replicate it even close since you've been gone. We've never had this World Cup team play together as a unit. What do you say to that?
Well, when you think about anything, and yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of the day we won the trophy in India, it's disheartening. It's disheartening from the point of view that team was still a fairly young team. that team still had a lot of players who were in their prime T20 wise, and we should not be anywhere down where we are in T20 cricket. We should be dominating T20 cricket at least. And it was one of the things that we were pushing for, that we have the best T20 team. We can dominate that. We can almost dominate limited over. And then Test cricket will build up itself, which it is doing now. But too much personal vendettas, too much personality clashes, and everybody wants to be important. Whereas the cricketers are the important people. The 15 players who won that World Cup were the important people then. So it's sad, it's disheartening to me, but that's the way we treat our cricket. So that's why we're where we are. And the thing about it is that I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen in Zimbabwe. I've seen it happen again now. And a lot of the things that I saw in Zimbabwe when I was there, I'm seeing here now. So I hope we don't get to that stage, but it's sad.
Did very sad. Of course, we'll be getting Sammy's impressions on that interview there. But let's start from the genesis, the Cricket Academy. What was it like with him pretty much being there with the young bloods?
I think it was really good. Like you said, the time wasn't allowing us to cram them with too much information. But the basic thing that we did, and for me, the learning was not only what he brought on. It was not only for the young cricketers. I think John Eugene, Junior De Rose learned a lot, and they got a lot of information to take back to their own academies. And like I said to the youngsters and to the parents at the closing ceremony, is the first time I actually saw our cricketers. I also always heard John talking about the talent at the under 15 level. And I got a chance to work with them first, and I found a new, a new drive. It has it has working with the young cricketers has really got me excited, and it's something that I enjoy doing, and I have developed a passion for it, and it makes me want to do more. So Digicel better watch out, because I want to do more with them. But his knowledge of the game, and just the fact that if you notice the teams he's coached, he's always have to help develop.
Absolutely. And
he's done it with Ireland. You could see he's doing it now with Afghanistan. I think he was once with either Kenya or one of these teams before.
Ireland.
Yeah. So that's why I chose him, because he's good in helping to develop kids, and I think it was a success. I'm already looking at ways to improve next year. And
that was going to be my next question. What's next?
It's we will have a review with the Digicel and myself and John, who's there, and see how we could even better it, make it longer. And like I said to the parents, I want to be more available. I think with what I saw, the talent, if you could get specialized coaching, one-on-one sessions with those already talented kids, the future is really bright for our cricket.
Definitely. All right, so just one more question about the academy, and of course we had to move on to other things. We have a lot to move on to. Yeah. We had the foundation, we have the academy, and then you just mentioned that you're getting more drive. How much more do you want to do in terms of, because we've been talking about the under 15, the under 19, under 17 level. There's a conversation about West Indians being in that crop. Well, how do we get them there?
I think it starts. That's why it starts at the grassroots. If you could get them thinking like a true professional at an early age, get them knowing that the mental aspect of the game. Because at the moment, what I realized, they just want to go out and play, which is okay because they're young. The fun aspect out of it, that's what they love. When you and I were youngsters, we just wanted to go out and hold a bat. But cricket now, it's more, the physical aspect, the mental aspect. If they could get that on board as well, and that's where the parents also comes in, and from what I experienced with them, I think yeah, when I'm in St. Lucia, more often I will probably partner John or Alton or those who have the academy to get them, you know, all of us heading in the right direction, which is helping to expose these guys to a professional setup that is going to help take them to further on or better them on the international stage.
All right. So let's just move on to other things. Every single year, I must say, St. Lucia, every single year this guy comes from Pakistan. I'm hearing fresh talk of citizenship. They want to thief our West Indian and make him Pakistan citizen. But again, Sammy, we keep hearing that as a captain, Midas touch. Whatever team you're part of, you take them there. You get close to at least winning most times. Just share with us your experience at PSL this year. You came straight from Hong Kong and over to PSL. Success again, just not able to carry it all the way through.
Yeah, this year it was really a tough campaign for us.
Yeah.
You know, at the starting of the tournament, we lost two of our key players, which when we selected in the draft, the team was built around Bravo and that is Senior Bravo and Shakib Al Hassan. You know, they make up 4 players because I was already thinking, okay, that's 8 overs from Bravo and Shakib every match, and then they could bat at number 5 and 6, and then you lose both of them. And you have to, you clearly have to replace 4 players. Yeah. You know, 2 batters, 2 bowlers. And Hassan Ali was injured for the first half of the tournament, and everybody said Zalmi is not going to make it. Yeah. You know, and that's why even now I say, people ask me what's my strongest asset, and I always tell them it's my mind. Yeah. And that's why I want to instill that into our youngsters. So everybody said Zalmi won't make it, and we were down at the bottom. Yeah, you know,
it looked that way. I can tell you.
Yes, you know, a funny story came out. You know, after I got injured, and we played Moulton, that is Tom Moody's team, and you know, after the game, you know, I was walking by, and they were way ahead on 9 points from 5 games. They needed 1 more point to qualify, and I said to him, you know, congratulations, you're now in the playoffs, but I believe my team is going to play all again in the playoffs. And whether he was joking, he said to me, we're there, but you guys ain't getting there. And that was all that really just light a fire in me. And every game I keep telling my team, just remember what. I use that as motivation, just remember. And then there was one game against Quetta when, you know, I got injured. And the disappointment of being injured turned out to be a turning point for us, a blessing in disguise, you know. It just lifted the team's spirit, and yeah, Cameron Akmal won a few games for us, and Hassan Ali became fit, and you know, we just never gave up, and that's the type of attitude I always try to bring, whichever team I play for. We don't give up until, you know, the last ball is bowled, and we almost won 5 knockout games to defend our title, but you know, Islamabad played well throughout the competition.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, tell us about that final. Man. That final was, tell us about it from your standpoint.
Yeah, we had, first of all, I think we had a tough decision to make whether we play Chris Jordan as the extra bowler or play one of the batters, you know, and we won the toss, batted first. Only got to 140 something, and we knew all the building up to the game. It was Ronki versus Cameron Akmal. They were the 2 best batters in the competition. Akmal didn't perform at the finals, but Ronki did. But every time, you know, the guys, some of them gave up already. But myself, Jordan, Fletcher, you know, Asif, Wahab to a lesser extent, you know, every time I kept telling them, whatever position they're in, just add 2 quick wickets to the score. Somebody get me 2 quick wickets somewhere, you know. And every time we got a wicket, they were 100 in probably 10 overs, chasing 140. Yeah. And I still believe we get Ronki out, we expose a new batter, get him out. You know, I still believe something could happen. Yeah, that's what we learned from early. And yeah, it so happened that we created so many chances that we actually, I believe, could have won that finals. But in the end, I think, you know, Zalmi has created a brand that shows that, you know, we don't give up, and it was a good campaign for us. I'm proud of the boys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into some other stuff. Because I mean, we have to open. Solution will be opening the lines because obviously I know you guys don't get often get a chance to speak with Sammy. So we'll be opening the lines early enough for you guys to send your questions in. But there's certain things that I want to get into, and I think it's on everybody's minds. St. Lucia Stars. We're going into. We're going into another CPL. This is the 6th edition, if I'm correct, and it's supposed to start in August. And we saw the draft being held earlier this year. And let's just get into the player draft. First of all, what is your impression of the team that is selected by the owners?
I think we've put in a good team. Again, every year you hear St. Lucia Stars put in a good team, but this year, Pollard coming over. We have Darcy Short, who had a good BPL and a good debut for Australia. We have Keswick Williams, who has been one of the leading bowlers over the last 2 seasons, coming from Jamaica. We still have the services of Andre Fletcher. We lost Johnson Charles. I'm back as well, and I'm like I said, I'm a professional. We all know what went down last season, but I'm ready to play for St. Lucia, and come August, I think they've put in a really good squad. We almost had the services of Rashid Khan. But I think Afghanistan got some tournament during that period. I think what we've been missing over the years is a match-winning bowler. Someone who, when the batters get going, we call on this person and everything just slows down for a little bit. Trinidad got Narayan and Shadab Khan.
Bravo could do that for them. Man.
Yeah, so. This year, I believe with the experience we brought on, especially Pollard at 4, 5, and myself at 6, could be a good combination for us. So, but I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully the Stars do shine this season.
All right. So obviously, a lot of us, especially cricket lovers, the purists, we were waiting in earnest to hear who's the captain of the St. Lucia Stars. For some of us, like myself, I expected at least, and I said this a number of occasions, at least an official release or something official from the management, from the owners, or some executive member of the Stars as to what were they going to do with the actual leadership of the team. Because I think leadership is very important when you're going into a competition, especially when you have a home ground and that sort of stuff. Was there any sort of communication with you, considering you were the captain last year? The captaincy was given to somebody else, and at the end of the day, it yielded no tangible, no result of note. Was there any conversation with you in terms of the direction that you were going?
I think I didn't know who was going to captain, but once I'm not sure if there's any official release saying who's going to be the captain, but I was told that I was not going to captain the side. But, Kenson, like I always tell people, any team I play in, I'm considered a leader. And you don't have to have the C by your name to do your job. Whether it be Pollard, whether it be Fletcher, whether it be anybody, I will give my support to that person. And if it's Pollard, I think he's an excellent T20 captain. He has a lot of experience, and maybe, who knows, some fresh mind in the St. Lucia setup could be the difference. And especially, every disappointment to me is a blessing. So I'm just waiting when August starts for that blessings. For those blessings to come wrong my way, I tend not to worry about things that I can't control. And I said to the owners that, look, I've always been motivated to play. I have things that motivate me: my family, my island, my country. My personal goals I want to achieve. Those things motivate me. Not once do I go out and turn up and be motivated by a franchise owner, because like I said to him, 6 months ago, before he sacked me, I knew nothing about him.
Yeah.
So he really didn't really have an effect in my career, you know. So I'm a professional. I'm here to play cricket, and that's what I'm gonna do when I cross the field. You know, he's the franchise owner. I give him that sort of respect. But at the end of the day, I'm a professional. I will do whatever I have to do for my team to perform, and whoever is captain, I hope it's Pollard. I will give up my best for that team. But at the moment, there are bigger things ahead of me, and when that bridge comes, I'm gonna cross it.
All right, we'll look at some of the bigger things in a while. But I still have to speak on CPL because there were reports last year and earlier this year, and I could actually confirm those reports that a lot of the small business owners from St. Lucia were given contracts by the CPL franchise, and to this day, many of these small business owners have not been compensated and that sort of thing. And you would think that an organization such as that, the CPL and the Stars, specifically not CPL, the Stars.
Yeah, you have to get that right.
They would take
before you get a letter from CPL.
CPL getting a lot of letters about that. They would take care of all that sort of stuff. How do they get back to St. Lucians and tell them come and support them?
Kenson, as much as I would love to answer that question, right? You know, like I said before, I've signed my contract, you know, to play for St. Lucia Stars, and, you know, certain things that, you know, I really can't talk about. Probably if you got me on the show before the draft, I would just let it out, you know. but now, you know, I'm gonna give the franchise that sort of respect, and not put our dirty linen in public like that. And hopefully, well, they're here a second time. You know, if there are any issues, you know, the people could take it directly.
Yeah, because
to them.
At the end of the day, the players, the team, I mean, everybody would suffer if we have an absolutely empty Darren Sammy cricket ground, because persons are so disgruntled. I still get stopped, especially on Jeremy Street. I already say I'm not passing on Jeremy Street because every time I seem to walk on Jeremy Street, somebody meets me and says, Kenson, have you heard anything from the franchise? They ain't paid me yet. But anyway, that's for another show, as you rightly said. Yeah. But still with CPL, we've also seen a West Indies under-19 cricket team with Sokimani Melius breaking into the West Indies under-19 team, having a very good World Cup. And before that, John L. Eugene was also in the mix, and somehow, which is beyond me. Let me tell you, this
is still a mystery.
That is more of a mystery than a googly mix with a. Let me tell you, an absolute mystery that John L. was not on that team. We always hear the franchises getting some mentorship programs together and that sort of thing. Any thoughts on how this may go? Because we've had some of the younger players feature, well, not in the team, but in the camp.
I hope it happens. You know, whilst I was captain, that's one of the things I always try to push forward. You know, before that, basically CPL owned the Stars. You know, so myself and Stuart always encourage the youngsters to be involved, come at training and stuff like that. Now they have an owner. I would really hope, you know, guys like Kimani Melius, John L. Eugene, you know, Akim, Ogis, Sky, and all these young cricketers get to mingle. You know, even though, you know, come be around the guys who are true professionals. You know, I remember at the start of CPL, you know, you needed 2 under-19 players. You know, I think that was a good thing, you know, to include them into the setup. But I don't know what's gone. It's not there anymore. But you know, ideally you would want these guys to get that sort of exposure. So I will keep, you know, telling the franchise owners to keep that program going. Definitely.
And we know that you travel a lot, Sammy. And yes, solutions need to know why, but they don't need to know. But I'm just saying, a lot of what you do right now is in terms of, it's similar to what we just mentioned: mentorship, speeches, actually giving back. Tell us a little bit more about some of those other exploits.
it's God has blessed me, Kenson. Every day I reflect, where I come from to what position I find myself in the world. It's been a great journey. And maybe that's why probably my body is telling me now it's time to stop and venture in something else. But look, I still have the passion, to play. And like I said, just over the last few days, I found a new passion where, I enjoy watching the kids trying to do the right thing. So people have always said, Darren, after cricket, you could be a really good mentor, you could be a really good coach, you can be a really good coach, and I was like, nah, but now my mind is slowly changing, towards venturing in that department, and the sky is the limit. I always believe in myself, believe in my ability, and wherever the man above sees fit, he takes me. I'm Clara's boy. At the end of the day, I know Clara on her knees every day praying. I was telling somebody, I've not even got Clara's blessings. It's my grandmother's blessings I'm getting right now. So, I believe what's there to happen will happen, and if you work hard, you stand a better chance of getting the results. And I believe I've worked hard to be in the position that I am here today.
All right. So let's get into some of what Phil Simmons spoke to. It would be remiss of me to have an interview with him and not actually ask him about West Indies cricket. Let's go to World Cup qualifiers. 3 games on the trot. Phil Simmons coached Afghanistan, actually put licks in West Indies.
It's a funny thing, right? Over the last 4 or 5 years, everybody West Indies have discarded has went on to bigger and better things. So actually the disappointment, like did you say? Actually the disappointment probably turns into a blessing. Perfect example is Otis Gibson. He was fired, went on back to England. Took Anderson, took Broad, both of these guys back to #1. He left. He's now the head coach of South Africa, and they're doing well. And speaking to some of the players, they tell you they love Otis Gibson down there. I always said what he tried to instill in the team if only all of us took it on board, that level of professionalism, that hard work, and now that's what, AB and Faf and these guys are quality players and true professionals, but that's what they're reaping from Otis. And Phil, it must hurt. It's sad, like you said, it's disheartening, to know that, and twice West Indies have done that. Gibson was a World Cup winning coach, he was sacked, and then Phil right after was a World Cup winning coach, he was sacked. So it's sad, and to see the game now, and we had I think a year or 2 years ago, I said in an interview, if we don't get things right, we will find ourselves playing against Ireland, playing against Scotland and these guys, and basically that's what has happened. I'm really happy, they qualified for the World Cup. God was really looking after them, especially in that game versus Scotland.
That rain.
Everything seemed to go in their favor, but look, we have a lot to do, and clearly it's not in a good position right now, but that's West Indies. We could, when it comes to World Cups, we could always go out and put in a surprise that shocks the world. So we got a year to prepare still. So hopefully they could get it better.
Yeah. Definitely. West Indies now from winning the World Cup a couple of years ago, ranked number 1, now 5th in T20 cricket. T20 cricket, 5th in the world. And as Phil said, it seems to boil down to personalities and persons, wanting to let's just say, not just have their way, but vendettas. He said personal vendettas and that sort of stuff. Do you see anything changing anytime soon?
No, not with the current administration. I always say if the blind leading the blind, both men will fall in a pit. And to me, at the moment, the blindness. You know, it took me a while to really get into the leadership things, understanding my players. You know, and what I had was a six-year period to do that. So after it took me 2 years to really learn the players I was dealing with. So I think Jason and Carlos, you know, they could get better, but unlike me, they don't have the personnel, you know, that I end up having in that T20 team. And it's true, that World Cup winning team has not played together since the 3rd of April 2016. So yes, they say the world champions, but it's not really the world champions. You know, it's what's it now? Cricket West Indies team. Yeah, and it's not. And all the thing is, all these guys who were there are still actively playing cricket. You know, and it's sad that the world don't get to see these guys together because of, you know, personal, you know, vendettas. You know, they gave the amnesty, I think, sometime last year. But
how long that?
What was that? But Sammy was not part of it, because out of all the guys, you know, Sammy is the only one that never came back. But like, look, Kenson, I'm in a very, very happy place right now in terms of my cricket. You know, I don't lose sleep over not playing for West Indies. You know, I enjoy playing in the leagues, and you know, the level of respect I get everywhere. You know, and plus, look, my hair is growing, man.
Yeah. No gray.
My hair is growing. You know, when last you saw I got so much hair on my head, at one time I thought I was going bald. So no, the less stress for me has been more blessings. You know, and I thank God. You know, He's control of everything, and yeah, the sky is always the limit for me.
All right. Okay, so St. Lucia, we'll take a break, of course, and when we come back, I'll get through some of your messages, as my phone has been ringing. We'll get through some of your messages, and of course, we'll open the lines immediately, because we know you guys want to have a conversation with us. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back. right, welcome back to 758 Sports Talk, and we are opening the lines officially for you guys, and I have some messages to get through on 4880929. The number to call will be appearing on the screen shortly. I have some messages, some questions persons are asking of Mr. Sammy, so you could come in, you could call to make your contribution, any questions or anything you want to say right now. All right, somebody says, compare the cadre of young St. Lucian cricketers to those in the region and around the world. How do they stack up talent-wise, and which players locally do you think have a good shot at making West Indies senior team? That's the first part, because that wasn't still another question.
Yeah, I think over the last few days, what I saw, you look at Akim, Akim Ogis, Sky Laffey, also Zeda James.
You're about to say Zeda.
I always mistake her for Jada.
Oh, okay.
But Zeda James, I think she was the only female.
Talented.
Yeah, very talented. Also, the guys who played for Windward Islands, I think Ryan, they have a lot of talented cricketers. I also saw Law Kimani. To be fair, they had a lot of young cricketers going through. I think if they could work on their self-belief, because it's okay to know that you're good, but you don't really want to tell them how good they are, and get their heads swelled, But if all of them continue to work out, obviously all of them will not play for West Indies, but I think they stand a better chance of becoming better professional cricketers and better rounded, as a person, we have a few guys, but I think Akim and these guys, I think what I saw, if they continue on that path, St. Lucia will produce not only West Indian cricketers, but professional cricketers that could play around the world.
Yeah. Right. All right, somebody asked, compare West Indies cricket under the leadership of Julian Hunt and Nesile to that of Grave and Cameron.
Grave?
Johnny Grave. Johnny Grave.
Look, everybody handle things differently. West Indies cricket has been in the decline for the last 3 decades. 3 decades, since we lost that trophy to Australia. 1995, I think it was, where I saw my father. He doesn't even want to go to work, because that was the first time we lost that trophy to Australia. We've never really recovered from that, and we've had different presidents coming in and trying their own putting their own spin on things. But look, clearly we know this current administration it's gone from bad to worse.
All right, we have our first call. Good evening, you're live. Go ahead with your contribution.
Hi, good evening, Kenson. Good evening, Darren. How are you doing?
We okay?
Blessed.
Great show so far, Kenson. I hope you could make it tomorrow morning, though.
Tomorrow morning for the vibe?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
Darren, first of all, let me commend you for the work that you have done at the senior level, and the work that you continue to do at helping to develop the youngsters and take the game to another notch in St. Lucia. However, there's a myth in St. Lucia which states that, quote unquote, there seems to be no structure in place towards the future development of cricket on the island. How do you see cricket in St. Lucia moving forward?
What I could tell you at the junior level, the abundance of talent. With no structure, we've probably won the last...
Caller, can you turn down the volume, or have you asked your question? Because we're getting the feedback.
Yeah, I keep hearing the no structure, but and that was in our time, Kenson. But what I saw over the
1 second. Can we cut this off, Junior, please? Yes.
Yeah. What I saw over the last few days, the talent that we have, if the administrators could take a little bit more, pay a little bit more attention, a little bit more care in organizing, the proper coaching. I think all the coaches on island should be heading in one direction. When you go to England, that's what you see. When you go to Australia, the standard is the same. You know, I think what we're missing here in St. Lucia is when they come from the tournaments and they play the school tournaments, they don't have something to go back to where, okay, I left from here, I'm gonna carry on. I know John and Alton and Junior, I must commend them for the work they've been doing.
Also Keith Shalby right now is
so I think, we still could do more in terms of, specifics. And to be honest, right now, you tend not to rely on administrators now. If you could do it yourself, go ahead and do it. But we still got a long way to go, not from talent, but from an administration point of view, because we are full of talented young cricketers in St. Lucia.
All right. Somebody says, similarly, how can we solve the training of the Windward Islands under 15 team situation? Not enough time to prepare, in my opinion, which will put our boys at a disadvantage.
This has been our problem for years. If you notice, not only in the under 15s, and the under 19s, also in the senior Windwards team, we always perform better coming to the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
If you notice, if you're following the first class season, the second round, Windward Islands won their matches. Yeah. You watch the tournament they just won, they had to must win, I think, the last 3 or 4 games to qualify for the semis. So it's because we all coming from different islands.
Yeah, it's not like Barbados is one country.
And it takes a little time to gel. And on the 15 just won their last 2 games. Yeah. And we always find ourselves catching up. If that's why it's important to have a longer time to prepare, because I also believe the preparation is the key. If you prepare well, you give yourself the best chance of performing.
All right. Good evening, you're live. Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, can you turn down the volume on your television set, please?
My volume is very turned off.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
First of all, let me commend Darren for giving back, so to speak.
Yeah.
In giving back to the youth and the contribution he's making to local cricket. I think it really augurs well for us, and I really need to see a lot more persons in other disciplines at that level come back and do the same. Darren, how is your injury? Hey Darren, how's your injury?
It's not good. It's not good. I'm gonna get myself.
Let me tell you something. A lot of us, waiting at least for, with what happened to some of the Australians, we were waiting to see you in the IPL, at least getting a call up by one of the teams. Any chance of that?
Maybe, but at the moment I'm not fit to play cricket. I know you guys saw me stayed on in Pakistan, but that was just my mind that really took me through.
Yeah, but Darren Gaffer, you look, let me tell you something. Sometimes, in certain respects, you look better on one leg.
No joke.
but anyway, well done. IPL is something, we really needed some sort of representation there. And, we were hoping, we beat it, and still hoping that at least, you'll get an ease up and somebody will do the right thing and call you up and represent us, man. Keep the flag flying all over the globe. Congratulations and well done. Continue what you're doing, man.
Take
care.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution, caller. Yeah, that brings us back to... well, somebody asked, is Sammy still interested in playing for West Indies? And have he made himself available? I know the answer to the second question, but go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I've not retired from limited over cricket. I've always been available, for selection over the last 2 years. But like I said, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, no difference. Whatever shirt I put on my back to cross that field, I'm gonna go out there and enjoy it. If it's West Indies at the moment, I can't see it happening. I can't see me playing for West Indies under that current administration. Okay. It's not gonna happen. That's a big pill they have to swallow to bring me back. Yeah. So I don't think they're willing to do that. But I'm enjoying wherever I'm playing right now.
All right. Somebody says kudos to Darren for all his efforts, both locally and internationally. He will no doubt continue to go way up. I can never forget when my mom asked for his autograph 11 years ago, saying he would be big in cricket. In cricket land, and that's exactly what has happened. Keep pushing forward, Darren. 11 years ago. Why does everybody remember that?
Yeah, I wonder if I think I know who that person is.
Yeah, maybe it would have to be really good, eh?
Yeah.
But anyway. All right, somebody says, how do you rate the development of Kimani and the St. Lucian cricket on a whole? What advice can you give to Mr. Cameron to improve the game? Get well. Sammy, get well.
Cameron?
Yeah.
Which Cameron?
I only want Cameron, I know. When it comes to cricket, that's the
what
one
I'll
that
say,
was a specific outfit.
What I'll say to Kimani is, you know, I've watched him. You know, he's worked really hard with Alton, and he continues to work hard. He's one of the young ones that, you know, eat, sleep, breathes cricket. You know, and that's why he's gone on to, you know, the West Indies on the Under 19 Cricket World Cup, and for me, he did really well. You know, so you know, now that he's gotten a taste of, you know, of international cricket at the junior level, you know, it's important that he continues to work even harder. Yeah. You know, in bettering his skills, and you know, we in St. Lucia, I think Crafton and whoever, you know, has the right expertise could help him get there, you know.
Definitely. All right, somebody was just giving us some history. West Indies has dropped 3 winning coaches: Gus Logie, Gibson and Simmons. You remember Logie was sacked after winning the Champions Trophy. Well, yes. You probably should have done
No, it seems after winning, you know, that's when the change comes. You know, because I remember after we won the 2012 World Cup, you know, I was sacked as captain, and then after we won the T20 World Cup in 2016, I was also sacked. So it's a sacking thing after winning. So I guess these guys will have their jobs for a while now. All
right, somebody says, good evening, Kenson, good evening. Sammy is one of my favorite cricketers of all time, but I'm a bit disappointed in him for only one reason. He never made mention of his first cricket club, which is MYM in, I don't know what's MYM.
Oh, magnitude.
In one report. The people of the community will want an apology. We'll get back to that. Good evening, you're live. Go ahead for contribution.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to Darren and Kenson.
Good evening, sir.
Something I want to ask. West Indies ever ranked in the number 1 in T20?
If they ever, would they ever ranked number 1 in T20?
Yeah, man. Number 1 in T20.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
And one question I want to ask Darren. I want to ask Darren if he don't like bowling again. Because how many times I see play how many matches and he not bowling. So I want to ask him if he's batting now he like and he don't like bowling again.
Good question. Good question. That's very true. Talk to us about that. What's that about?
I bowl when I have to. When I have to. To be fair, right now it's the role that I've taken on as captain is more to develop. And the teams I've played in, you know, we've selected, you know, specific guys to do that job. You know, if I have to, if it's needed, then I have the experience to go out and do it. You know, but yeah, I enjoy my role as a batter, you know, more these days than anything. Okay. Plus, it's taxing on the body these days. You know, I bowled one time in the PSL, and up to now I cannot run. So yeah, it's a bit taxing. But I do get that question, and you know, the coaches always say, Darren, you must bowl, you must bowl, you must bowl. You have the skills to bowl.
So remember when he was picked on the West Indies team, he was more like a bowler.
Yes, I was a bowling all-rounder. You know,
all-rounder, okay.
Yeah,
but like you was a bowling all-rounder.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
But I always loved batting.
Watch cricket, and I was seeing and I seen the fellas. Why the Darren don't like to bowl again? Why every time he not bowling? So why? And all the time, some I seen some of the team does need help from the bowling.
A little bit jump pace, a little.
True.
You know,
I get that from.
So when I tell someone like that, they tell me, well, it's something I have against Darren. I say it's not something. I want to see the man bowl. I mean,
you are right.
Give me how much talk and tell me it's something I have against the man. I said I want to see the man bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, Sunday you have to.
Hello, caller. Okay, we seem to have lost that
wants
caller.
to see me bowl.
Yeah, the caller. That's.
It's true. It's true. I've been told so on many occasions. Even when I play, Darren, you could bowl, because overall I still one of the most economical guys. My stats show over 200 plus T20s. Still going at under 8 and over.
Yeah.
And early up in my career, I bowled all my overs in the power play.
Yeah.
Used to open the bowling for West Indies and the different teams I play. So they have a point, but yeah, something I could work on.
I definitely want to go back to this message. First cricket club, which is MYM in Monrepo, and the people of the community really want a little apology. Or why you never said where he began? Sammy, you are a legend. Kudos to you on all your achievements. So,
okay,
Bosi put it all there.
All right.
You are a legend, but let's go back to where it started.
Okay, I started at the Viewfort Comprehensive School, which is, the school that really United Insurance, Kensington, when I used to play against you and beat Hess all the time. The records are there to state that Viewfort Comprehensive always used to beat Hess. But my first club was actually New Park.
Yeah.
New Park Cricket Club. And then in the Monrepo League, when cricket was thriving in Monrepo, I first played for the Margaretwood Cricket Club. So I'm calling Margaretwood. Craig Emmanuel was our captain. I did. We had some great matches there. But I ended up moving across to Grass Street Cricket Club. That's my good friend Gary Maffrin's team. But shout out to Margaretwood. For
let's get this thing clear.
Yes, for being that. Margaretwood have produced a lot of cricketers, mostly Manuels from that village. They've Craig Emmanuel, Walter Emmanuel, Claudius Emmanuel, Walt Emmanuel Jr. But Margaretwood was where I first played in the Monrepo Cricket League. So good night to Margaretwood. Hope everything is good. When I'm passing through, keep some fruits there for me. I'll pass and collect it.
Yeah, but smart. All right. Somebody says, Kenson, between you and me, Darren, and all cricket fanatics, we know in the middle overs, batsmen look for a bowler to target. And in all honesty, when Darren comes to bowl, it's happy hour.
Well, that's why I'm not bowling.
But that's when you used to take a lot of the wickets, because you always were underestimated. A lot of the times people used to underestimate you because, you were not express pace. Yeah. But at the end of the day, accuracy and getting the ball in the right area.
This is my experience, But, and now I'm captain, I get to decide if I should bowl or not. So we have. That's why we select specific guys to come and do the job.
Yeah. Somebody says, can you ask Sammy? Is it for him in cricket? Is that it for him in cricket as a player? Is he sticking to youth development in cricket?
It's how I recover from this knee injury over the next few months will decide how long I'm going to play again. But youth development, especially in cricket in St. Lucia, is an area I'm definitely gonna venture in. I'm gonna sit down and put some thought to it and come up with a good program that will enable me to do so.
All right. Yeah. All right. Somebody says, good evening, Kenson. Great show as usual. Just want to commend Sammy on the fantastic job he is doing in giving back to his country. It's a true testament of his patriotism. I'll get back to this message. Good evening, you're live. Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Hi, good evening. I just want to say good evening to you and Darren Sammy, the best cricketer in the entire entire world.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I agree.
Good night, sir.
I agree.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing is, I just want to congratulate him on a job well done in every aspect of the game and what he's doing now. I have two questions. The first question for him is, what would he ultimately do when he finishes cricket? I know he has a mentor program, but what would be like his go-to thing after cricket? I know you will always play, like, mentors the young kids and everything to play in the game, but what would be ultimate, like, position after cricket? What would he do, basically?
Yeah. What's the second question? Let's get the second question.
Yeah, the second question is a trick question. You might know where I'm after I ask this question.
I already know who you are.
What is his best statistic? Is it catching balls on the field or actually catching a fight on time?
Well, I know the voice, so I already know that.
Well, I'm good at catching everything. Yeah. Up to date. I don't think the flight has left me down as yet. But thank you to all the guys at the airport who've been so patient. You know, Kenson, you know, I'm always on time, Kenson. To be fair, time management is not my
your best.
Being on time is not my best thing, but I'm working on it.
As your partner, I can tell you that.
you about to expose me like that, caller. But what was the first question?
The first question: what are you going to do ultimately after cricket?
You know.
Thank you very much for your contribution, caller.
No problem. Have a good day.
All right.
There are a few areas, you know, I could venture in. With most of the teams I play around the world, especially Peshawar Zalmi, they want, as soon as I'm done, to venture into coaching and mentoring. I was iffy about it.
In Pakistan. Wow.
I was iffy about it, but just working with the kids over the last few days has really opened my eyes
to the possibility.
It's gonna happen, you know, with my leadership qualities and you know, and nowadays, especially on the T20 circuit, you know, coaching that sort of game is more like man management, which I think it's an area, you know, I'm okay with. I'm okay at, you know, and that I could see myself venturing into. Also, my agents have put programs that, you know, they want me to venture into commentary. Okay. You know, but to be honest, after that, I will take a good time off to just be with my family and my kids. I've missed a lot of years. You know, and after that, you know, probably it's time for Kathy to do her own thing now, and it's her turn. You know, and whilst I enjoy the time with the kids, but by then they are growing nicely. My son, you know, played for St. Lucia earlier.
Darren Sammy Jr.
Yeah, and he has something in him that you know, if I work really hard with him, that
the talent is there.
But
definitely,
there are a lot of things Darren could do after cricket. You know, and over the years, I think, you know, I've managed the finance I've done over the world. I think I've managed it well enough to put some good things in place. You know, I have Mr. Stewart, who's been like a father figure to me. You know, in terms of managing, you know, that aspect of my life. You know, it's an area we as sportsmen tend to forget, because we think we're gonna play on forever. And
well, I thought, because I definitely want to get to that. We have a caller. Thanks for holding. Go ahead with your contribution.
No problem. Good night to you, Vincent. Good night to you, Mr. Sami.
Good night, sir.
I'll take this opportunity to thank the people from Likud for supporting last week Saturday, for coming out in such large numbers. And again, you know, looking forward to seeing them this coming Saturday.
Sammy brother was there. Sammy brother was there in full effect, made like his footballer. What?
Okay. Okay, well, to Mr. Darren Sami, job well done in your career, sir. I guess we're all happy, you know, with what you have done so far.
And I don't know whether Kenton is the right forum, whether it's the right place, but Mr. Sammy, your contribution will be greatly appreciated to the court football. Thank you. Again, have a good night.
Boy, 758 Sports Talk is where everything. Somebody is looking for sponsorship for a competition. A contribution. Thank you very much for your contribution, caller.
All right, thank you.
All right, yeah, that's a very good football initiative. It's actually aimed at getting the young people involved in something meaningful on Friday nights in the Miku community. I was there on the weekend, and let me tell you,
that's my district there.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. So probably if you here on Saturday night, we can make a turn there. Let me tell you, trust me, it's nice.
It's nice.
It's real nice.
Miku nice, you know. The East is very the nice. East is wise people come from the East.
Yeah, boy, you see, all right, good evening. I think you are our final call of the evening. Go ahead with your contribution.
Oh wow, man! I'm honored.
Yes, sir.
And, that was my second attempt to get in on the program. Darren, it's good to see you there, man. Kenton. Oh, sorry, Kenson. We have a Kenton in my club, so I'm mixing you guys up.
Okay.
I'm into administration. I won't, identify myself, but what I realize and what most of us know is cricket is very much a sport that is suffering for lack of facilities and it's a game that is in St. Lucia, and maybe in the wider region, we're having a torrid time in terms of developing the game and the players. So what I'm saying basically is we do not have adequate venues. We do not have the fair share of time allotment and opportunity. So, there's always this competition for venues. There's always sort of like we always struggle, to be able to put games together and whatnot. So, Darren, I know you're doing a swell job, and it would be remiss of me not to do this before we part tonight. But let me commend you and thank you for being who you are and for your achievements and, making us all proud. So the question I have is, aside from all the great work you've done and all your accomplishments and whatnot, do you have any kind of plan, to do something or help out or, in any which way you can? What ideas do you have in terms of, creating more venues in St. Lucia, for example, and helping out and, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm asking the question properly, but you can see where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
So that's basically my question. Venues, facilities, gears, equipment at a better rate for players. Everywhere I go, you get kids asking for. You guys were just discussing sponsorship. You get kids asking for bats. They want this, they want that. So what can you tell us in terms of what's possible? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah. Look, for years we've been hearing that. Trying to guess.
I love you, my boy.
Oh, I love you too, mommy. So you remember? I'm trying. You're not gonna tell me? I don't want to call the wrong name. I have a few mothers. Clara don't like when I say that.
She will like it.
She will like it. Well,
yes. Your second mother from Monrepo. I just came in and I saw you on TV.
Oh
boy, there are too many people claiming you.
Am I looking like Clara's boy?
Sammy, I am happy to find you. Your mommy will tell you.
Okay, I'll have to call Clara tonight.
Thank you very much. You were our last caller. We were talking. You were answering one of the questions.
Yes, and it's something that has always, bothered my mind. Growing up, we dominated the world for 17 years, Kenson. Making money for 17 years. Nobody saw it fit to, at least one high-performance center where you have physios, you have gym, you have indoor facilities, you have
colleges,
you have that, like in Australia, you have in Brisbane, you have the high performance center. In England, I think in Cardiff, you have the high performance center. Or everywhere. No, you can't. If rain falls, apart from probably Barbados or Trinidad, there's no indoor facility where you could go out and play. And the young kids in the young children in England, Australia, they're growing up exposed to all these things. But yet people say finance, but we had finance for 17 consecutive years where we dominated the world and nobody saw it fit. And now we are all suffering because nobody had the vision to put things in place for us. To answer the gentleman's question, every time I tour, I always try to bring back something. It is very, and because of the location we are in the world, I think I could speak to a few of the franchise owners I have played for, and they will want to help out, But like I said, if I don't have a proper structure where I know the kids are the one benefiting, that's why I vision myself venturing into that to make these things happen. But we need to stop making excuses now and really do something about what's happening here.
Yeah, and our facilities, man, we really need to get them up and running. All right, we have a number of messages, but
yeah, you have a few.
To say the least, but we've quickly run out of time, so I just want to give you an opportunity. Anything else you want to say to our listening public?
Look, what I experienced over the last few days at the academy, St. Lucia aspect of the game, and it doesn't have to be on the cricket field, just the way they react to things at home, when they're under pressure. Because if you could train your mind, to be under pressure, put your mind under pressure and come out with the right decisions, that also could transfer on the field of play. And thank you to Digicel, thank you to John Eugene and Twatine, Mr. Modest, and all the and Junior and Phil, and also the media houses who covered the first edition of the Darren Sammy Cricket Academy. We want to go even bigger next year, and always, St. Lucia, the love and support. Thank you. I'll continue to try help develop and give back, and God knows best, and He's in control of everything. So good night to the listeners. Thank you for having me on the show.
Definitely, man.
Anytime you need me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I know that. On your phone, a couple of finger touches away.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for definitely being on our show tonight. Thank you for being our guest. And let me just echo what most people say. Thank you for your contribution to the development of cricket in St. Lucia. Keep doing your thing, and for sure, you've been blessed. You'll continue to be blessed now and in the future. Looking forward to seeing you perform this year for the St. Lucia Stars. All right, St. Lucia, we've quickly run out of time, and of course, there are so many messages. I would not be able to get to them tonight. I apologize again. But on behalf of our entire sports team, I'm Kenson Kazre saying good night. To see you guys soon.